Hey guys, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. Another episode of Wednesday I. So Wednesday AI, get it? I did a search for some different like AI images on Pinterest, and I actually found these really cool looking like drip collage almost type things. I really have no way of describing it. Like I don't know how to describe it. But I thought that they were really cool, and I wanted to try my hand at making one or several or a million of them and just kind of see like, you know, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. They're really neat looking, except that they're AI, and you guys know how I feel about AI. Like, why make it an AI if you can make it in real life, right? So I wanted to try to see if I could recreate it and put my own spin on it, see if it's something that's reproducible. And I think I came up with something really cool. So to start with, I have this window cling film, or this window sticker film. It's basically, you put it on your window to keep people from being able to look into it. It also creates a really cool effect with the hollow nature of it, or the iridescent nature of it. So this is different than my gift wrap. This is an actual like plastic sticker sort of deal. And I don't need a ton of it. So I'm just gonna cut myself a little square. And I'm not being super precise about it either. I'm just grabbing a chunk and cutting it off. There we go. Okay, now this does have a plastic piece on the back of it because like I said, this is sort of a sticker-esque type thing. So what I need to do is figure out which side the sticker is on. I'm gonna do that just by trying to separate a corner of it. And there we go. And it looks like, good grief. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna undo this, and I'm gonna use just a little bit of like washi tape or something to hold this down with. I should have done all of this before I put gloves on my hands. Speaking of, my husband bought me a pair of gloves that I guess normally it's for like tattoo artists, but they fit so well, guys. I mean, they're still kind of long because my hands are tiny, but they fit a lot better than what I was working with before. I think they're a size medium. So like, yeah. I'll try to find out, you know, the brand and put them down at the bottom. So now I have this exposed, and I want to just give it a little bit of background color. And I mean, honestly, you could really do this with anything. I think I'm just gonna use a tiny little bit of maybe some pink paint. I've got some super neon colored paint. I'm just gonna kind of dab a little bit of this on there. So I have this on there. I'm gonna use a braying tool. I'm gonna use a braying tool to spread this out really evenly. And this, sometimes people use them for like their crickets and things like that. But a lot of times it's used in printmaking. And I just want to make sure that I get this on evenly, mostly just so that it'll dry nicely. It doesn't need to be perfect. I'm not aiming for any special finish here. I just want it to be kind of flattened, and I want it to mostly be that way so that it will dry faster. And I'm just gonna kind of work the rest of whatever's on here off. Okay, so I'm gonna give this just a minute or two to dry. All right, seems dry, at least dry enough for what I need to do with it next. Okay, so now I'm gonna just kind of like make my own little drip pattern, and this doesn't need to be anything super special. I just need kind of like basic shapes. So just so that you can kind of see what I'm doing, I'm gonna draw it out with a pen or something. Just so you can see what I'm doing, I'm gonna draw it out with a pen, just so that it makes a bit more sense, kind of like what we're aiming for. So in this little square that I know is gonna fit within my thing, I'm going to make just some little, and I think that the way I wanna do it is I'm just gonna draw some circles. Like that, and then a couple down here, and then I'm going to connect them all together. And again, I'm very much not worried about how this is going to look right now. I'm just putting some basic shapes down and then kind of connecting them together. Okay, so maybe bring this down a little bit more. Okay, I think this is a decent shape. I think that'll do for what we want. And so now I'm gonna put this back, and I can just barely see it through this paper or the plastic, but I can see it enough. Hopefully you can see it. If not, it is under there. And I'm just going to fill that in with some resin. So I've got my Let's Resin, and I'm just gonna go through and just kind of like follow the pattern that I drew out. And again, if this isn't exactly like the pattern that you drew, that's totally okay too. Like that. And then I'm going to fill this in. And I want to work kind of fast because the longer I wait, the more chance this is going to have to kind of like travel out of shape. And I want to avoid that as much as possible. Like these two parts are about to touch. If it does touch, that's okay. I'm just going to use something to like cut it out. Or I'll use something to separate it. But the less sanding that you have to do, you know, obviously the better it's going to be for you. I'm going to use my fingers to stretch that plastic as it cures. That way it'll help avoid curling. I don't want it to get all curled up. And then once the top is kind of good to go, I'm going to turn it upside down and cure from the underside as well. So now I'm pretty confident that everything is set as far as the resin goes, and I can start to decorate my blob. I'm gonna use some like nail chromes and things like that to give it a bit more color. I think that purple would be super pretty. Let's see, I've got this kind of holo color. I've got purple. I have another purple and another one. That's really pretty actually. I've got this pink holographic one and another pink holographic one. Okay, I think I like the idea of this pink holo. So I'm gonna use my finger just right here with my glove on. And I'm going to pick up some of this, and then I'm just gonna rub it into the piece. So just wherever I think could use that like holographic nature. Actually, it's so pretty. I don't know if you can see it yet, but I think I'm just gonna rub it all over. And again, I'm not super worried about whatever's happening with the plastic itself. Okay. I just love the like light, quiet, lovely holographic shine this gives. It's so cool looking. Okay. All right, so my whole surface is covered now, and if you hold it just right, you can see the holo. It's kind of competing with the iridescence of this plastic as well. That's all right. Okay, let me pack all these back into my thing, and then we'll come back and keep going. Now, just to make it a little bit more manageable, I'm going to trim some of the paper away. I'm not doing like a full trim just yet. I'm just trying to like make this a little less awkward to hold. And then we'll go back and get some closer cuts later with a different pair of scissors. Okay, but I want to wait until I have all my embellishments on before I do any of that. So first things first, I'm gonna just kind of like either make some jewels or place a few things around, and that way I can kind of like build up from it. And if you look back at the image, there's really like no right or wrong way to do this. It's just a matter of like finding things to put on. Let's take a look and see what's in here. I think this green bead would look cool. This pink one, that would be cool. Maybe, might be a little too big. Or like that. Maybe, we'll see. Let's see, let me just dump it all out. What's in here? Okay, I got a little flower, some gold pieces, some little moonstone rocks. That would be cool. It has a cool flash in it. Maybe one of these guys. I'm just, like I said, I'm just picking out a few things. Doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have, it can be as complicated or as simple as you want it to be. So really this is about having fun. It's a cute little heart. Okay, so let's start laying some stuff out here. All right, is this too big? It is. This is too big. That's not gonna work. Let's try, we'll put him, let's put him right here at the top. We could even put that like in the middle maybe. This kind of seems too big too, so let's set him aside for a little bit. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of resin up here. I have this. I accidentally melted it using using my heat tool, but I really love kind of this middle part here, so I might cut that out. I love a good interesting texture. And I don't really care where it comes from as long as like it's visually appealing. So hopefully this will work the way I want it to. Let's trim just a scotch of that off. Like that. And we can kind of do this number. Yeah. Do I like this side better or this side better? Kind of like that side better. And I want to make sure that I kind of get some under there as well. So I'm just going to kind of like build it up a little bit on one side, and then I will build it up again on the other side. And I kind of want to put a little bit of glitter to give some accents around. So let's see. Let's see here. And I'm just gonna kind of like that. And then use my little tool to cover that. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle this everywhere that I put the resin. Now, this is probably gonna start dripping. That's okay with me. Because I'm gonna go back in later and clean it all up using like a rotary tool or my set of files or something. Again, like what I'm aiming for here is maximum texture, vibrant colors, maybe a little bit of like monochrome color palette, but like with pops of complementary colors all around. And when I say complementary, I mean like what's on the opposite side of the color wheel. That's what I'm wanting. And I think over here in this empty space, should I put this? I feel like I have crystals that look like this that aren't this huge. So let me go look and see. Okay, so I think I've added all of my embellishments. I put some hearts, I put some moons, a flower, 2 flowers actually, and a little bit of glitter. Once this last step is cured, I'm gonna go in with my gold highlighting pen and give it a few golden accents. And then finally, I'm gonna trim away the excess plastic that we started with, and then I'll start shaping my piece. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. I'm gonna go ahead and start trimming. And I have my pair of scissors. And again, I'm gonna start by just getting off excess, and then I'll start going closer and closer. And I'm not gonna try necessarily to cut through any resin with my scissors because I'm gonna do that all with my rotary tool in a little while. So I'm just trimming, getting rid of a lot of the excess here. Get rid of that. Go into this little space. The problem with these scissors is they are not very sharp at the tip, so makes it a little tricky. All right. I know you're like, Mary, what the heck are you making? Trust me. Or don't. It may be a disaster, you know? It could be. But you know what? If we don't do it, we'll never know. So we might as well find out. So I work in corporate training, and like one of the things that I've always seen my whole career is people saying, people saying, I'm no good at that. I know that I just won't be good at that. how will you know if you've never tried? You could literally be an expert and you don't know because you haven't tried yet. Like, you could just be naturally talented at it. Like, I know that I'm not naturally talented at basketball or baseball because I've tried them all before. I feel like I could be naturally talented at something like hockey. No, I can't. I can promise you that. Okay, I'm just taking off, again, getting as much excess as I can off. And if you wanted to do this before, you know, you definitely could. I like to wait until after I have everything on there because I know I'm gonna get some spills and stuff, and I don't like, it's easier to have this spill on the little piece of plastic that I plan to trim away than it to spill off, you know, somewhere either on my table or even on my silicone pad, because it could just completely alter the shape of what I'm trying to do. But this gives me the opportunity to kind of contain everything and until I'm ready to go through and deal with it. Now, if you're gonna do this step that I'm doing right now, make sure your blade is super sharp and that you go very slowly. And hopefully you're doing it while other people aren't around so that you don't accidentally, like, and then somehow hurt someone else. There we go. All right, nearly finished with this part. Again, I'm just taking off as much extra plastic as I can, getting as close to those resin lines as possible. Okay, and then I'm pretty unhappy with what's going on down here. I don't like the way that looks at all, but that's okay, because like I said, I'm gonna use my Dremel to shape this a bit more. Let me move this out of the way because it's probably very distracting. All right, okay, before I go any further, I'm just gonna do a couple of quick accents in here using my gold paint pen. I'm gonna shake it. And I mean, for the most part, I really just kind of want to highlight right here. And then when I go back and do like my final top coat, I'm also going to outline the whole perimeter. So like that. And then just doing this kind of gives things a little bit more dimension. And it also sort of masks like what they are. Like here, this could have very well been a rock or an agate slice or something that I found. Just by giving it that gold accent, it gives it a little bit of mystery so that it doesn't just look like a melted piece of plastic. Okay, I like that. I think that looks really cool. Listen, if you can't turn your trash into high art, then, you know, what's the point? Okay, so far so good. Put this somewhere. I just realized that I have a little bit of excess plastic over here that I forgot to trim. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna give the whole top a layer of resin, and then once that's fully cured, I'm going to turn it around and do the same to the back side. And then once that's done, I can start shaping. So I'm going to kind of lay this to where hopefully it'll stay a little bit flat, and just like one section at a time, I'm gonna go through and fill some of these gaps. And not all of my elements are gonna be like submerged in this. Some of them are gonna stick out because I want to, you know, keep that texture. Okay. Okay, now I do need to do the back side of this as well. The only thing is with this cling film, when you put this directly on it, it tends to want to like kind of pull into itself. So first thing I'm gonna do is scuff this up using my Dremel, or you could even use like a file or something, but I need to give this a little bit of a roughing up. That way I can coat the backside with resin. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I am in a good place with this. There's some cleaning up I need to do around the edges, and then like I said, I kind of lost the shape down here that I was aiming for. So what I'm going to do to resolve that is I'm gonna re-outline it. I think there was like a little piece up there. So we'll just say like here, and then we'll do something like this for over here. And then so that means that I need to get rid of everything that's in this blue situation down here. So all of that. Now, this is just me being a perfectionist. You could absolutely just stick with what you have here. I think it's really cute so far. But yeah, if you want it to have a bit more of that drippy effect, then, which is what I'm aiming for, I'm gonna go through and just knock out using a diamond carving bit. So this is for like typically woodworking, things like that, but I'm going to use that to kind of take this out. Now I'm going to I'll do a little bit of it, maybe some of the shaping on the top to show you kind of what I'm going to do, but this part down here I'm going to take outside and really give that a good power wash, so to speak. So I'm just waiting for this to dry here. Another thing that you can do if you don't have a Dremel or rotary tool is you can use just either like jeweler's files, nail files, pretty much anything. And then this will help you take the edges off of your piece and get a nice smooth edge, which is really ultimately what I want to do. I just want to get some nice edges along the outer perimeter. That way when I go to cap it with my foil, or I'm sorry, when I go to outline it with my gold marker, it's going to have a nice soft even edge along the outside, so that again we get that like perfect computer generated image. So I'm gonna just show you a little bit of shaping with this. It's gonna make a huge mess, so I'm gonna put down a paper towel, and I'm also gonna spray this down with some water. When you're sanding, water is your best friend, especially if you're using resin. Now, I won't be talking because I am going to cover my mouth. Okay, so just again, some super light shaping along here at the top. And I'm just trying to like really make these little inner pieces nice and round. Like right here, I want to go in and make that super round and bubbly. That's a little bit better. Okay, so again, right here, I need to get rid of all of this blue. And this little guy is a little too small for that. So I'm gonna look for a bigger piece. And then I'm gonna go outside and do this. This should work. And I'll keep cleaning it up as I go. Nothing's ever really finished, you know. But I like how this looks. I think that that's really cute. What's happening down here? It looks like I nicked the resin with my drill, my Dremel. That's all right. I can do another little shine coat on it in a minute. Cool. Okay, I like how that's looking. Now, if I hate this, I can take it off with some alcohol, but I want to see what it'll look like. There we go. Okay, that looks really neat. I love that. And then maybe just a touch of it over here too. And then I'm gonna give this a second to dry, and then I'm gonna do an outline around the entire piece. So I've fully coated this guy. He's got a nice, pretty gold border all the way around. And now, like, what the heck am I gonna do with it, right? So something like this, you could turn it into a statement necklace, something along those lines. But I think it would look really cool as like a hair, something like a hair clip that you could wear to like a party or whatever, prom, who knows, right? So what I'm gonna do is turn it around and add a little clip to it. You could do this with like a barrette. You could do this however you want. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply an alligator clip to the back of it to turn it into a little hair clip. So this is gonna be very straightforward. I'm just going to put a straight line right across, maybe a little bit longer than how long my clip will be. Now I'm going to put something in this clip to make sure that it doesn't accidentally get resined together. So, and I'm just gonna lay that right there into the clip. Make sure I got good contact on both sides. And then I'm gonna cure. Okay, so here she is. I made a little placard for her just by writing my name onto some cardstock here, but I really love how she turned out. She's so cute, and I think this would be a lot of fun for festival season. It would be a lot of fun to wear on a night out. I made another one that's a little bit more like candy coated fun sort of deal. But yeah, like this was a great way to use up some scraps because I had like a broken piece of a resin project right there. I had some glitter that I needed to get rid of, so I turned it into little jewels. So this is a lot of fun. This is really a neat project. It would be a great one to do with like little kids. You can have them tell you what, you know, items they want on their piece, and then you as the adult can go through and add them. You know, I'm not going to tell you not to let your kids use resin, but it is very volatile and it is very bad for your lungs. So just keep that in mind. Keep your little ones safe. Awesome. So she's super cute. I love her. I kind of almost want to give her a little bit of green right here, but I'm going to not just yet, just to see. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a good time. I really liked this project. I can see myself making these all the time. And I'm really excited to see what your thoughts are. So let me know. Go make something awesome this week. And as always, stay rad. If you enjoyed this video, check out how I turned AI art into a necklace.